Hello, second grade. I hope all of you are doing well. I miss seeing you all every day so much. We are going to be diving into our math book. So if you do not have out your math book, I want you to go ahead and pause this video, and we are going to be doing page 541 and 542 together. So we are working with picture graphs again today. But instead of making your own picture graphs, we are going to be using these picture graphs to answer some questions. So we have to analyze these picture graphs and determine how many people have answered specific questions. So we're going to look at this graph right here and I'll explain more. So again, if you need to pause this video and get out your math book, you can. We are on page 541 right now, and we will do it together. So, the directions, I believe, I do not have my directions pulled up on this page. It says, use the data in the picture graph. Write the number of votes for each dinner. Write the least favorite dinner. So, we have to count each dinner, and then we have to write how many votes we had. I'm going to get out my writing tool. So we are going to start at the top, and we'll just do spaghetti. So we're going to count each one. So for spaghetti, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So right beside spaghetti on the first line over here to the right, we're going to write the number 4. And then for the next one, it says tacos. So we also have to count how many votes there were for tacos, for favorite dinner. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for tacos for favorite dinner. So we're going to again write the number 4. Let's go to the next one. This one says chicken. So we're going to count each one, and remember each picture is 1 vote. So for chicken, looks like there is 2 pictures, so that means that there was 2 votes. And the last one is meatloaf. If we count all the pictures for meatloaf, we'll just see 1 picture, so that means there was 1 vote. Now what we just did isn't anything new because we worked on this a couple days ago. What we're going to get into more is answering questions using our picture graph. So there's a question right below your picture graph, and that question says, which dinner is the least favorite? So I'm going to underline this word right here, least. Well, it looks like my writing tool won't let me, but if you look to where I'm pointing, which dinner is the least favorite, the word least is important. That means like the smallest number. So I see all my numbers, and I need to look and see which number is related to the food. I remember 4 is right beside spaghetti, 4 is beside tacos, 2 is beside chicken, and 1 is beside meatloaf. 1 is the smallest number, so that means there was only 1 vote for meatloaf. 1 is the smallest number out of spaghetti, tacos, chicken, and meatloaf. But you don't write the number 1 because it wants to know what dinner is the least favorite. So the dinner that you would write is meatloaf because it has the smallest number of votes. So I cannot write meatloaf, it is not letting me use my writing tool, but right here on this blank line, I want you all to write meatloaf because that had the smallest amount of votes. And then when you are ready, you may turn to the back of this page. Now we're going to be on guided practice, and it's 542. It's just the page right behind the one we just did. I'll read this to you. It says, you can use a picture graph to answer questions. What pet is the favorite? Well, the favorite would be the pet that has the most votes. So that would be the pet that is liked the most by, when we don't know who took this survey, because at the beginning of the chapter, we were the ones asking questions or asking questions to our family, or I asked questions to my family and I told you all the answer. They already did the survey for us, so we are just answering the questions for the picture graph that's already there. So again, the question says, what pet is the favorite? So let's just go ahead and count all of them. We'll start at the bottom this time. This says cat, and our key down below says each animal picture is 1 vote. So we're going to count by ones. So for cat, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. For dog, we have 1, 2. And for fish, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I know that fish must be the favorite pet because it had the most votes out of all of the animals. So on this line right here, you're going to trace the word fish. And there's a question down at the bottom that I kind of already touched on a little bit. It says, how many votes does each picture show? So if you look at the key, it tells you, it says each animal picture equals 1 vote. And then the question was, how many votes does each picture show? If you only see one picture, that one picture is equal to 1 vote. So it's just the number 1. Okay, we will do this last little bit of the guided practice together. So again, we didn't have to do the survey or ask questions to our family members or our friends. They already did the survey for us. They already asked all these questions to people they know. So the question must have been, what was their favorite summer activity? Because right here in orange it says favorite summer activity. And then in the white right here it says key. Each picture equals 1 vote. So when I'm going through and I'm counting the pictures, I count by ones. I'm not skip counting by 2s or skip counting by 5s or 10s. I just know to count by ones. So we could start with the first question, and it says, what activity is liked the least? Now again, let's see if I can get my writing tool. There we go. What activity is liked the least? Least would be the smallest number, right? So we could go through and we could count all of our pictures if we wanted to. So it says play baseball, it has 1, 2, 3. Inline skate says 1, 2. Bike ride has 1, 2, 3. And then swimming has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I'm looking at all my pictures and I'm trying to figure out which one has the least, it would be skating because it has the least amount of pictures. And that means it has the least amount of votes. So with your writing, well, I would use my writing tool. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to write, so I want you guys to use your pencil. I'm not going to write it down. For number 1, I want you to go ahead and write inline skate. I'm just going to write skate because it's a little bit harder for me to write on my computer. And if I'm ever going too fast for you guys, you're not in class to tell me to slow down, right? So if I ever go too fast and you need to catch up, you can just pause the video and then hit play again when you're ready. So for number 2, The question says, which two activities have the same number of votes? So what you can do is I can count all those pictures again if I wanted to, but I could also look and see where the last picture ends. So if I look at my beach ball, my very, very last beach ball, and I go all the way down, I see, oh, there's no other pictures there. So that one must not be it. If I go to the bike, the very last one of the bike, I can see that baseball is right underneath of it. And then I can count them for the bike ride. 1, 2, 3. Play baseball. 1, 2, 3. Those pictures both end in the same box, and I counted them to double check my work. So, which two activities have the same number of votes? That is bike ride and play baseball. For number 2, I want you guys to go ahead and write that. I'm not going to be writing it on my screen because it takes me a little bit longer. And again, remember those key words too. Which two activities have the same? I'm finding those important words. And bike ride and play baseball had the same. For number 3, it says, how many people like to swim and play baseball in all? The main thing you guys need to focus on is it says and. Looks like my writing tool is not writing again. But where I'm pointing at, and is important because I know it's talking about more than one thing. And at the very end, it says in all. When it says in all, you know that you are supposed to be adding something together. We need to figure out what that something is. So I see that it has the word and I see at the end it says in all. The question is, how many people like to swim and play baseball in all? So that means we need to count swimming and playing baseball. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start with swimming since that is first. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and keep counting and I'm going to move to baseball. So what we already counted is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to move to baseball and I'm going to say 6, 7, 8. So in all, there was 8 votes. So that means 8 people like to swim and play baseball. It's important when you guys are reading these questions, or if you need help, you can have an adult at home help you read the questions, that you read it very carefully because sometimes it'll say which activity is liked least or which activity is liked the most. Sometimes they'll change the question with just one word. So you have to be very, very careful when you are reading, and you can always double check your work by counting the pictures in the picture graph. So what I'd like for you to do next, go ahead and try your independent practice. I miss everybody, and I hope you all have a great day.